This didn't happen in a haunted place people talk about online. There are no legends about this school, no ghost stories, no urban myths. It's just a public high school in a small Midwestern town that shut down 12 years ago when the population dropped below 2,000. And that's exactly why what happened still bothers me. My name is Ethan Carter, and I was a night security contractor in the winter of 2016. The job was simple: walk the perimeter, check doors, log activity, leave. No weapons, no backup, just a radio that barely worked in bad weather. The school sat at the edge of town, surrounded by dead fields and frozen trees. No houses nearby, no streetlights past the parking lot. On the night this happened, it was January 9th. Temperature, 14 degrees Fahrenheit. The kind of cold where sound travels too clearly. I parked near the front entrance just before 11:30 p.m. The building looked darker than usual, like it was absorbing the moonlight instead of reflecting it. The wind pushed snow across the lot in long, dragging waves. I remember thinking how quiet it was. Not peaceful, empty. I keyed my radio. Unit 14 on site. Static answered back. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out of the truck. That's when I noticed the front doors. Unlocked. That wasn't right. They were chained every night, always. I stood there for a second, listening. Nothing. No alarms, no movement, just the faint hum of the wind. I pushed the door open. The sound echoed down the main hallway longer than it should have. The smell hit me immediately. Old dust, damp paper, and something sour underneath, like a building that hadn't breathed in years. I clicked my flashlight on. Lockers lined the hallway, dented and rusted, names scratched into the metal. Posters still hung crooked on the walls, prom announcements from a decade ago. I stepped inside. The door shut behind me. I didn't remember touching it. I stopped walking, listened. Then it came from somewhere deeper in the building, slow, deliberate. I told myself it was settling noises. Old buildings make sounds, especially in winter. But I still tightened my grip on the flashlight. "Hello?" I called out. My voice sounded wrong in there, like it didn't belong. No answer. I moved toward the main hallway intersection, passing classrooms with doors half open. Desks were still inside. Chalkboards still had faded equations written on them. One room had children's handprints painted on the wall. I don't know why, but I avoided looking at them directly. As I reached the stairwell, my radio crackled. "Unit, copy." Then silence. I tapped it. Nothing. That's when I heard it again. Above me, on the second floor. Walking. I froze. Those steps weren't random. They weren't echoes. They were paced. Someone was moving and stopping and moving again, like they were listening. I whispered without meaning to, "This is security. Identify yourself." The footsteps stopped. Complete silence followed. Then it echoed once, then cut off. My throat went dry. I backed toward the stairwell wall, angling my flashlight upward. "School's closed," I said, trying to sound calm. "If you're inside, you need to leave." Something shifted above me. Not footsteps, dragging, like something heavy being pulled across tile. I took one step back, then another. The dragging stopped, and a voice spoke, Soft, too close, right behind my left ear. "You're late." I spun around, flashlight sweeping wildly. Nothing. Empty hallway, classrooms dark, no movement. My breathing picked up. I backed toward the exit. That's when the PA system came on. A single tone rang through the building. Long, shrill. Then a voice, distorted, flat. "Students, please remain in your classrooms." My legs locked. That system hadn't worked in years. I shook my head, forcing logic back in. Power surge, old wiring, animals. That's what I told myself. I turned toward the door. It was gone. Where the exit should have been was just wall. Lockers, a fire extinguisher. No glass, no handle. My pulse slammed in my ears. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." I ran down the hallway, past classrooms, past posters peeling off the walls. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then stayed on. At the end of the hall stood the gym doors, wide open, dark inside. Cold air poured out like breath. I skidded to a stop. The gym floor was covered in footprints, bare feet, small, child-sized, leading toward the center of the court. I stepped back. That's when the doors slammed shut behind me. The light snapped on, every single one. The court was empty, except for one thing. A basketball sat at center court, perfectly still. Then it rolled toward me, slow, stopping inches from my boots. I didn't touch it. I couldn't move. From the bleachers, something inhaled, deep, wet. And then the whisper came again, everywhere at once. "You stayed after the bell." The lights went out, total darkness. My flashlight died, and something started running toward me, fast, bare feet slapping tile, screaming, not angry, not afraid, excited. I screamed too, and that's where my memory stops. They found my truck still running the next morning, front doors chained shut, no damage, no sign anyone had been inside. My badge was found in the gym, at center court, next to a single basketball, still warm. The first 911 call came in at 2:17 a.m. It wasn't from me. It was from a passing delivery driver who had taken a wrong turn and cut through the old school road. He reported lights on inside the abandoned school, movement near the main entrance, and what he described as someone screaming, then suddenly stopping. Dispatch logged it as a possible trespassing situation. 2 units were sent. Officer Mark Halverson arrived first. His body cam footage was later requested by the family of a missing student from another case. What they received was heavily redacted, but not enough. "Dispatch, I'm on scene," Halverson says. "Old Jefferson School, no vehicles, buildings lit. The school shouldn't have had power. The district cut electricity 8 years ago after the fire." Halverson walks toward the entrance. The front doors are unlocked. They creak open on their own. "Hello?" he calls out. "This is police. If anyone's inside, make yourself known." No response. But the body cam microphone picks up something else. Halverson freezes. "There's Movement on the second floor, he mutters. He steps inside. The hallway smells wrong. Not mold, not dust. Something stale and cold, like air that hasn't moved in years. The lockers line both sides, doors hanging open, dented, rusted. Some still have numbers painted on them. Then his flashlight hits something on the floor. Footprints, bare feet, wet, leading away from the entrance. "Dispatch," he whispers. "I've got fresh prints inside the building." Static answers him. Dead air. He follows the footprints down the main hall. They stop outside room 204. The door is slightly open. A faint sound leaks out. Halverson raises his weapon. "Police," he says firmly. "Step out, now." The whispering stops. Silence stretches too long. Then, the bell rings once. Broken. Wrong. The officer flinches. "That's not possible," he breathes. The school's bell system was removed after the fire. He pushes the door open. Room 204 is empty. Desks overturned. Black scorch marks climbing the walls. But the footprints continue, straight toward the teacher's desk. Then, they stop, right in front of it, as if whoever made them stood there and vanished. Halverson's breathing gets louder. His flashlight flickers. And that's when the voice speaks. Not from the room, from the hallway behind him. "You shouldn't be here after hours." Halverson spins, gun raised. The hallway is empty, but the lockers are moving. Slowly, one by one. They open just a crack. Inside each locker, darkness. Too deep. Like there's more space inside than the locker should hold. The voice speaks again. Closer now. "You stayed late." The words hit him hard. Because that's what the principal said the night of the fire. Halverson backs away. "Dispatch," he says urgently. "I need backup, now." The radio crackles back to life. "Copy, backup en route, stay calm." The classroom door slams shut behind him. The lights cut out. The body cam switches to night vision. The hallway is no longer empty. Students stand along the walls, dozens of them, perfectly still, heads down, charred uniforms, burn marks across their faces. None of them breathe. Halverson stumbles back. "What the hell?" he whispers. One student lifts their head. It's a boy, skin cracked, eyes glassy, and when he speaks, it's with my voice. "You're not staff." The students take one step forward, together. Halverson turns and runs. He crashes through the stairwell door. The steps echo too loudly, too long, like the stairwell is deeper than it should be. Halfway down, he trips. The camera slams against the floor. When he looks up, the stairwell is gone. He's standing in the gym, the burned gym. Basketball hoops melted, floor blackened, and at the center of the court, a lineup. Students, teachers, a figure at the front, tall, unmoving, wearing a principal's jacket burned into the skin. The figure turns. Its face is a blur, like the camera can't focus, but its mouth opens and screams. Every voice at once. The sound peaks, then stops. Suddenly, the body cam cuts to black. Backup arrived 3 minutes later. They found Officer Halverson outside the school, barefoot, kneeling in the dirt, hands over his ears, bleeding from the nose. He kept repeating one sentence over and over. They never left. They just stayed late. Inside the school, officers found no intruders, no signs of forced entry, no footprints, no power source. But in room 204, they found something new. A roll book, dated the night of the fire. Names were listed. Students marked present. Teachers marked present. At the bottom, one name added in fresh ink. Mine. The school district sealed the records. The building was fenced off, officially declared unsafe. But locals still report lights on some nights. They say you can hear a bell ring once. And if you stop your car, if you look too long, you'll hear footsteps behind you and a voice that sounds like it knows your name, saying, "You stayed late too."